48 kills, Tarek GG, it's What the Moose here, and today I've got another video for you guys where I want to share with you why I've been playing Jungle Ziggs in my ranked solo queue games with what's meant to be some of the highest ranked players in the game. All of these clips have been taken from mid to low Diamond 1 games, and I honestly think Jungle Ziggs is one of the strongest junglers in the pre-season 4 patch. In my opinion, Ziggs is one of the only junglers that can clear as fast as Shyvana in the current patch. His early game ganks are so strong. You can lead with an auto attack passive and red buff, you've got your Q on a short cooldown and your W, which most people don't realise does almost as much damage as your Q. You've also got your E for an AoE and a slow, and your W can also be used as a CC, either by knocking them into a wall for a stun or knocking them back into you so your laner can land some CC. So as we see here, I'm coming round on the top side. Ari did blow her flash level 1, and I'm just going to wait here in this bush until she goes for a last hit. I'll ping it as I go in. If I can lead with an auto I will, if not it's just a case of landing the W knockback. There it is. I could land a slow if necessary, but she hit the charm. A passive auto attack with red buff and the Q. Orianna is enough to finish off, and it is crazy ganks. And I'll go over the runes and masteries that I run later on, which further facilitate me getting these early ganks off and having a massive impact on the game at such an early stage. When I look at junglers, I like to place them in two categories. There are junglers that help lanes to win, and there are junglers that perform better when their lanes are already winning. And I think Ziggs fits somewhere in the middle of those two, because he definitely helps laners to win. He's got high CC and high damage for ganks, he's got good mobility for counter ganks, and he's got a really fast clear time, so he actually gets there quicker than most junglers for 2v2's top and 2v2's mid. But on the other hand, when Ziggs gets ahead, it's really hard to come back from, due to the fact he's got a real nice kit, nice base damages and nice scalings. Whether you're playing in mid, support or jungle, he's a really strong champion. You can't really push against the Ziggs due to his wave clear, you can't really defend against the Ziggs due to his wave clear and his poke. He's got really nice kite and poke potential, and they've got a lot of turn potential with the knockback, his ulti, his slows, so you do have to be really careful with Ziggs. And most people say, you know, the current meta, oh, you need a tank. The defensive tree is really strong, I do agree, but a lot of supports are building tankier now with more increased gold income. We've got mostly tanky tops, you're getting your Renekton's, your Rengars, and there's not really room for an assassin in the jungle per se, but the sustained damage and poke from Ziggs is incredible, and it fits in with most team comps in the current meta, which is why I've been running him, and running him so successfully in my ranked games at the minute. So the general combo you want to be using with Ziggs is opening with an auto attack to get the best use of your passive, and we're going to see a mistake that I'm making here. Even though I do pick up the kill, I miss a lot of my skill shots, and you see I actually open with my E and a Q before I get the auto, missed the ulti there. I could have used my W to knock her back into my ulti, but the damage is crazy coming out regardless. What I should have done in that situation, I had the ambush, I had the element of surprise, I could have led with the auto attack in the bush, then put the E and Q down, which would have reduced the cooldown of my passive, and then I've got the ulti, knock back into the W, and my passive auto attack would have been up again, which would have been a lot safer. And that's something you need to remember when you're clearing in the jungle as well. Take a note of your passive and make sure you're not leading with an ability when you should be leading with an auto attack first. When you're doing your clear as well, you'll start at blue most times, go over to Wraiths, and when you're on the last Wraith, you'll actually have 1 second before your passive becomes available, and you don't actually want to auto attack and use your passive on the last Wraith. What you want to do is wait a couple of seconds until your Q comes off cooldown, you use the Q on the Wraith, and then you have your passive available for the red buff, which makes it a lot easier. It's just managing your passive well. So see that I led with the auto attack before using the abilities. Unfortunately this time I made a mistake of walking too close to Renekton. I played it poorly, we do get his flash, we nearly get a kill, but I could have played it a lot better if I didn't give him the double dash. But it's just being aware, using your passive at the right time, managing your passive at the right time, and remember, you know, forcing someone to back, push the lane out. This is just a nice start I did on Jungle Ziggs. Went there top, got flash. I think Gragas picks up a kill mid, but he overextends a bit. Get a kill on Gragas, and then we finish up with a kill bot lane as well. So if I quickly run through a few more advantages of playing Jungle Ziggs, he's extremely strong late game. When you're looking to close out a game, it's good to have a 5-6 item Jungle Ziggs when you're sieging or when you're turtling and defending. A quick piece of advice on when you're trying to close out games, whether it's in solo queue or in rank 5s, sometimes giving the enemy a kill is really advantageous. If they're turtling on the tower, they're not coming off, and you don't have a lot of push potential, sometimes giving them a kill and giving them the false belief that they can push is what you need to win. So you can, you know, pretend to get caught, let them get the 4v5, give them the confidence to come off the tower, and then when they're off the tower, you'll get the fight 4v5, pick up 1 or 2 kills, maybe even get the ace, and you can close out the game from that. Because otherwise, if they're going to turtle under the tower, they're waiting for you to make a mistake and they're aware that you can't push. So just be careful when you do this, make sure you are ahead, but sometimes giving the enemy a kill can be what you need just to close out a game, just to give them the counter push and give you the opportunity to get a gank in. And another advantage to playing Jungle Ziggs is obviously using your ultimate to get control over buffs and objectives such as Dragon and Nash. We're also going to see in a clip coming up, you can use it to wave clear towers, which, you know, keeps your head on farm, which makes XP not go to waste. But also here, Rengar's going to be pushing the tower, we're going to clear the wave, he's going to have to back off quickly, he's going to take a couple of tower digs, and Teemo's going to pick up the kill. Unfortunately, I don't get an assist here, but you can see the advantage of this late game. If they have a Shen pushing top, for example, and you can't commit anyone to 1v1 because you're aware they won the 5 vs 4 bot, just send Ziggs up to mid, let him ulti the wave, and then send Ziggs back to bot so you've got the 5v4 and you can engage, and you have to force Shen to come to you with no opportunity to push top, which is, you know, extremely beneficial. If I briefly run over my runes and masteries, I'm running 9 flat attack damage marks, 9 flat armor seals, 9 flat magic resist glyphs, although you can change your glyphs for cooldown reduction or magic penetration, and I do actually use magic pen glyphs quite a lot of Ziggs. And the quintessences I run are 3 flat ability power quintessences. So the only major differences from normal jungle rune pages are the 9 AD marks and the 3 AP quintessences. And the reason I do this is I run it in combination with a 30-0-0 mastery page, taking Bladeweaving and Spellweaving, making use of Ziggs auto attacks a lot in ganks, and it helps a lot in clear time. AD helps in clear time and helps with bursting ganks. It works well with your passive and gives you a bit of a boost in early game if you get invaded or if you look to counter jungle. The 30-0-0 can be replaced by a 21-9-0 if you're a bit less confident, but I really do like the 30-0-0. Like I said, I think the extra damage is really beneficial, and you'll see there I'm starting the game with plus 15 AD and plus 25 AP. So I have nearly 70 AD on a ranged champion with fast clear time, with red buff, and 4 sources of damage at level 3. It makes some crazy ganks and some crazy invades. So we're going to see in a minute, I'm going to go top, look for a gank, but the lane is pushed. I'm going to use my blue trinket in the bush to scout if the jungle is there, if we're going to have a 2v2, and I do find myself picking up the blue trinket quite a lot. I notice no one's there, and as we're waiting there to see if anything happens, just if there's a potential gank or counter gank, I notice Gragas come in. I don't want to give him anything to open on me with, so I back out of the bush. A fairly risky face check coming up and a lot of mistakes. This allows Gragas to get his W off, and it is quite hard to duel Gragas with his W off. I'm going to put down my E and jump out of range so he can't auto attack me. All of his abilities are on cooldown and he's forced to flash. I'll get my passive back up and get the first blood there. And Jungle Gragas is very similar to Jungle Ziggs, if not, maybe most people think a bit stronger, but as we see there, with the right outplays and even mistakes on my part, it was possible to pick up first blood. And we'll see again coming up top, maybe this is lucky timing, Rammus coming in for the gank on Teemo, he gets around all the minions, gets a taunt off, but it's only rank 1 taunt. Rengar jumps in and he's tanking the whole minion wave, which was a risk. He's also blown flash. I get a knockback on Rammus, he also flashes, but they both die. So it's 2 assists for me, a double kill for Teemo, a double buff for Teemo, and that's going to be a really hard lane for Rengar. If the ganks go wrong, you've obviously got your W to jump away, you've got your E, and you've got a lot of turn potential because of your damage. That's why Jungle Ziggs is so strong at early ganks and so strong at turning early ganks and turning early invades around. You may have some problems with champions such as Shyvana, Lee Sin and Elise, but if you play it right, you should be okay. You can kite the Shyvana W with your W. You can juke the Lee Sin, and if Elise jumps on you, you can obviously duel on top of your E's and kite around in a circle. You've got a lot of mobility, so there is a lot of potential for outplays. You just need to be careful who face checks who in the early stage, and use your blue trinket wisely. You can use it to avoid a lot of ganks, and a lot of invades, so yeah, just be aware of that and make the best use of your blue trinket, even though it's got a long cooldown. I wanted to include the next clip to show you like how bad I am at jungling and how easy it will be for you guys to pick up and for you guys to actually play jungle and know how to clear camps and stuff to do well. There's a lot of people in solo queue who don't like me, who might not like you for playing Jungle Ziggs. Specifically in this game, the Teemo and the Syndra had kind of personal vendettas against me, so I end up having to do blue without any help, which isn't ideal when you're running 30-0-0, but I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to ruin the game, I want to win as much as they do, and perhaps the mistake I make here is going straight to Wraiths and then red instead of maybe getting a level 3 before going to red. You see how close I come to dying, but it is kind of possible to do this clear if you actually know how to jungle, unlike me. So I'm going to do Wraiths and then try and pick up red and make it reset a few times, and yeah, I had no clue what I was doing. Had my smite up, but I just played really poorly, and yeah, I don't know, it really surprised me this game in particular, because I thought I performed really well. I was 5 kills, 0 deaths, 6 assists at one stage. I gave every single blue to Syndra, despite the fact that every single time I did Wraiths, the Syndra decided to take my big Wraith over the wall and steal it. Obviously didn't get a pull to start with, and they're flaming me all game and saying that they report me all game regardless of whether we won or lost, when all I wanted to do was win. I was playing to win, I was playing relatively well, and we did in fact win the game, and I don't know. But the thing is, you just have to ignore people like this, play your game, you'll know that you're strong, and just play with a smile on your face. So see here, some more counter ganks on Ziggs, getting the ulti on 3 people, the nice little Q in the background on Lucian there. Unfortunately the TF ult comes bot, Shen picked up the kill top, so he's unable to ulti bot, so that's a 3 for 3 in a kind of 4 versus 3 situation, with Morgana just making a way bot at the last second. And with regards to my last point, you definitely don't want to be taking blue buffs. You don't need blue buffs to sustain, you don't need red buffs to gank after the first red buff, but you can take it for levels. Another counter gank there, but it's not a troll jungler, it definitely is a serious jungler. You want to be giving your buffs away, you want to be going for dragons, you want to be going for counter ganks, early ganks, you know, you need to be playing the game. It's not a gimmick jungler where you farm and, you know, have fun. It's a serious jungler, and you need to play like it's a serious jungler, despite the fact, you know, you can get some pretty fun dunk kills like I see coming up. Gonna get the dunk there on a Thresh. It's a fun champion to play, but of serious aspects if you want to play to a serious level. In terms of the jungling route, I normally go red, wraiths, blue, then gank, or sometimes I go blue, wraiths, red, then gank, and it's a lot more successful when you get help from your laners than in the clip we saw before. You do have a really fast and really safe clear with the help leash, and if you're actually good at jungling. It depends, you know, which lane you want to gank first, whether you want to mirror the enemy jungler or whether you're looking to counter invade or counter jungle. So that's something to bear in mind. In terms of build, I go Spectral Wraith for the mana regen, sustain in jungle and ability power. After that I go Magic Pen Boots and Morellonomicon for the cooldown reduction, AP, mana regen, and the Grievous runes is really strong against a new defensive tree. After that you can go into a straight Deathcap, but I tend to go into a Haunting Guise and a Void Staff, and from there I go Rylais and Liandries for a bit of extra tankiness and a bit of extra kill potential when you hit long range skill shots. You can catch enemies from a distance and close out games that way. Lich Bane is also a good choice, and Hourglass is also really strong, and you know, some games you might need Merc Treads. You can adapt your builds accordingly, but generally my 6-item build is Spectral Wraith, Sorc Boots, Morellonomicon, Void Staff, Rylais and Liandries. That's my 6-item build. So to summarise, Ziggs fits in with the meta so well at the minute. You've got tanky tops, tanky supports, and Ziggs gives you that sustained poke damage from the jungle that you need in these team comps. You have great control over buffs and objectives, a really strong early game with strong ganks, strong counter jungling, getting your lanes ahead and keeping them ahead once it's that way. You can put the enemy jungler so far behind, you clear so well so you get a clear gold, XP and level advantage from that. You've got good poke, good wave clear for sieging games and for wave clearing and defense if it goes wrong. It's a really fun champion to play, a niche champion. There's a lot of high skill cap on this champion, so a lot you can practice, a lot you can get used to. Just be aware of leading with auto attacks, using your W and E at the right time, and be aware of the use of your passive. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you can see where I'm coming from with my playstyle choices, my gameplay choices and my itemization, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys think. Hopefully you're inspired to give this a go, and do let me know how you get on in the comments below. PM me on YouTube and on Skype and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'm really interested to see, you know, how you guys feel it works and if you feel it works for you. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, favourite it and let your friends know, as it helps me out so much. And please subscribe if you like what I'm doing for more similar content in the future. And until next time, peace.